Hello, Dr. Chang. I don't feel well.
What's wrong, Caitlin?
I have strep throat and caught it from one of my classmates. Is it alright if I miss class today?
It seems like a lot of students are missing class due to strep throat. We should calculate the positive likelihood ratio that you all actually have strep throat.
Dr. Chang, how would you do that?
Well, Caitlin, we are lucky because I actually had you all tested today for strep throat.
You did?
I did. Are you ready to hear how I calculated the positive likelihood ratio now?
Yes.
Well, Caitlin, I would first like to provide you with the definition. Positive likelihood ratio is the likelihood that a positive test result was observed in a person with the disorder versus in a person without the disorder of interest.
How would you calculate it based on the information from our class?
Well, there are 100 students in our class. 50 students in the class have strep throat, and 50 students in the class don't have strep throat. 30 of the students' strep throat tests came out positive and they did have the virus. 10 students' strep throat tests came out positive, but they did not have the virus. 20 students had a negative strep test, but they did have the virus. 40 other students had a negative strep test and they did not have the virus.
Oh. So many numbers. What are you going to do with all of them?
My favorite part: work with numbers and calculate the positive likelihood ratio.
What is the formula for positive likelihood ratio?
The positive likelihood ratio is the sensitivity over 1 minus the specificity.
What?
In other words, positive likelihood ratio is the probability of a positive test with strep throat over the probability of a positive test without strep throat.
That makes sense. What did you calculate the positive likelihood ratio to be for this situation?
I calculated the positive likelihood ratio to be 3.
What does that mean?
That means that there is a small possibility that if you tested positive for strep throat that you have the virus.
Oh, Dr. Chang. That's so interesting.
So if you have a doctor's note saying you have the virus, you may be excused from class.
Well, I'm the lucky one then. I have a doctor's note right here saying I have strep throat.
You can go then. Go home and have sweet dreams of positive likelihood ratios.
Bye, Dr. Chang. Thanks for the great lesson on likelihood ratios.